If you look in the mirror each morning and see those bald spots on your scalp, the smooth patches that weren't there a year ago, and you feel your eyes go straight to them before anything else, pay close attention. You have tried so many things already. Nothing has worked the way you hoped, and now you're watching more hair leave every time you brush or wash it. It happens in the quiet moments, the thought that creeps in. What if it keeps going? What if soon there is nothing left to cover? What if this is just the beginning of losing even more? The story you have been told about why this is happening is the wrong one, and it is the reason nothing you have tried has worked. Western doctors will tell you it is age, genetics, hormones fading with time. They tell you this is normal, this is permanent. Learn to live with it. And the companies selling the lotions and the pills have every reason to let you keep believing that. Because a person who thinks their hair loss is permanent is a person who buys management forever. But here is what they leave out. When hair falls and the patch goes smooth, the follicle underneath does not die, it goes dormant, still alive, still intact, waiting just beneath the skin you see in the mirror. In Chinese medicine, this was never treated as a hair problem at all. It was treated as a circulation problem, a failure of blood to reach the root. Restore what reaches the follicle and the follicle wakes up. That is the part Western medicine never tells you. The hair is not gone, it is sleeping. And there is a reason certain cultures aged into their 70s and 80s with full heads of hair, while the rest of the world called baldness inevitable. You stand there in the mornings adjusting what is left, finding the angle that hides the most, quietly stepping out of the photo, or skipping the thing you used to say yes to without thinking. And a voice tells you that you should have caught it sooner, that you waited too long. You did not wait too long. A dormant follicle does not have an expiration date. It has been waiting for one specific thing to reach it, and it can still receive that thing tonight, because there is a nightly ritual, something you can do before bed in under a minute, with one item that is almost certainly in your kitchen right now, that targets this exact circulation problem at the root. People who have done it consistently describe running a hand over those smooth patches around the 2 week mark and feeling something they had not felt in years. The faint resistance of new growth, fine hairs pushing through where there was only skin. It is not a lotion. It is not a pill. It is not expensive, and it is not what you would guess. Here is what it is, and exactly how to do it. The body has its own quiet intelligence. When the flow of blood slows to certain areas, the follicles go into a kind of protective sleep. They are not dead, they are waiting. Think of your scalp like a garden that once grew thick and strong. The soil is still good. The seeds, your follicles, are still alive down there. But over the years, the little streams that bring nourishment and warmth have become sluggish. They do not deliver enough of what those roots need to push new growth up through the surface. That is the real reason the patches stay smooth. In the mountain traditions I follow, we have watched this pattern for a very long time. The streams slow because everyday life thickens them. Stress, certain foods, the natural changes that come with years, they all make the blood move a little less freely to the far edges of the body, like the top of the head. The garden at the top of the hill gets less water than it once did. The plants do not die, but they stop sending up new shoots. Cloves have been used for generations in these same traditions because they are masters at waking up this flow. They carry a warming nature that gently encourages the blood to travel more freely again. When you chew them, the natural oils begin to move through your system right away. They open the channels. They bring heat and movement to places that have grown a little cold and stagnant. This is why it works best at night. While you rest, your body does its deepest repair work. The blood naturally shifts toward repair and renewal. The compounds from the cloves ride that nighttime current and help direct fresh nourishment straight to the scalp where the dormant follicles have been waiting. It is like turning the water back on in that garden after a long dry spell, just when the roots are most ready to drink. Nothing you have tried before reached this level, because most things sit on the surface. Lotions coat the outside. Pills often try to change hormones or block something else, but they rarely restore the steady, gentle circulation. The follicles actually need to wake up. Some people feel a soft heat moving upward within the hour after chewing. Others feel nothing at all, and there is a specific reason why, which actually tells you something important about your own circulation. More on that in a moment. If this circulation issue stays unaddressed, year after year, the body finds it harder to remember how to send that nourishment upward. The windows of opportunity for the follicles stay closed longer. But even now, the body still knows what to do when you give it the right signal. I want to tell you about one man who came to me with almost the exact same pattern you may be seeing in your mirror. His name was Richard. He was 68, living just outside Charlotte. He had spent 30 years teaching history to high school students, and he loved taking photographs on his weekend hikes in the mountains. He told me he had just declined his granddaughter's birthday photo. Again, he drove 4 hours the next morning to see me. He had tried the expensive foams, the laser combs, even prescription creams. Some slowed things down for a while, but the bald spots remained. Then someone in his family told him about the old ways. I gave him a very simple nightly practice. He followed it exactly. He called me before 14 days were even up. He kept saying, "Run your hand over it. Just run your hand over it," like I could feel it through the phone. By the end of 6 weeks, the difference was visible even to his wife. The patches were filling in with fine new growth that was getting stronger every week. He took his hat off for a family photo for the first time in 2 years. He was back out on the trails with his camera again without that constant worry. Richard's story is not unusual. I have seen it many times. Now I am going to give you exactly what I gave him. You can start tonight with what you almost certainly already have in your kitchen. Here is how to do it. First, go to the spice cabinet and take out the jar of whole cloves. Look for the small dried flower buds that still have a strong warm scent. If they smell weak, they have lost much of their power, so use fresh ones. Take exactly 3 cloves, not 2, not 4. 2 is not enough to do anything you will notice. Pile in 5 or 6, and the taste turns harsh enough that most people quit by night 3, and quitting is the only way this actually fails. 3 is the number the old teachings use for balance. Right before you climb into bed, put those 3 cloves in your mouth. You are going to chew them slowly and thoroughly. Take your time. Spend a full minute, or even 2, crushing them gently between your teeth. Let the warm, spicy oils coat your tongue and the inside of your mouth. This part matters. Some of the active compounds absorb straight through the tissues in your mouth and enter your bloodstream quickly, while the rest continue working as you swallow. Swallow it down with a small sip of water and you are done. 60 seconds. But there is a window here most people do not know about, and what you do in the next 30 minutes after chewing decides how much of this actually reaches your scalp. One note before we move on. If the taste is too much, chew fully, then spit. You lose a little, but consistency beats intensity every time. A spit out version you actually do beats a swallowed version, you quit. Most people find that after 3 or 4 nights, the flavor becomes something they actually look forward to. There is also one daytime habit that decides whether the new growth holds or falls back out. Most people skip it, and that is exactly why their results do not last. 30 seconds, twice a day. Take your fingertips and massage your scalp in light circular motions, no pulling. This encourages the blood flow. We are waking with the cloves. Drink plenty of water too. The streams move better when the body is well hydrated. The first week is the test most people fail. Nothing dramatic happens. Your hair might feel a little stronger at the root, and that is it. And that quiet stretch is exactly where people give up 1 week before the pod they actually wanted. Do this every single night for at least 14 days. Consistency is what tells the follicles it is safe to wake up again. Miss a night and the signal weakens. Stay with it, and the garden begins to green. But here is what nobody tells you about the 14-day version. It works, but it only treats what is happening at the surface. That is the ritual. But the cloves only answer half the question. They wake the follicle. They do not tell you why it fell asleep. And if you do not fix that, you will be doing this forever instead of fixing it once. The bald spots you see are only the surface. Underneath is an imbalance in circulation and the way the body clears and moves fluids and nourishment through the system. The blood becomes a little thicker or the channels a little slower at delivering what the edges of the body need. So where does the thick, sluggish blood come from in the first place? Trace it back far enough, and it always lands in the same place, your gut. The gut is where blood gets built. Feed the gut poorly, and it builds poor blood. And poor blood cannot climb to the scalp, no matter how many cloves you chew. The gut needs 3 things, and most people are missing all 3. It needs the living bacteria, it needs the fiber that feeds them, and it needs what those bacteria make once they are fed. Miss one and the other 2 cannot do their job. I have watched this for decades. The people who only do the cloves get the first new hairs around day 14, but the ones who also drink kombucha every day are the ones who keep those hairs and watch the bald spots continue to fill in month after month. Kombucha gives the gut exactly what it needs to support strong circulation all the way to the scalp. The cloves wake the follicle. Drinking kombucha keeps it awake for good. This deeper approach is what I share with the people who come to me wanting lasting results. I make my own kombucha at home because I have the time and the knowledge. But for everyone watching online who can't brew their own, I give BoochBod Kombucha Gummies. The link is in the description. Or you can search BoochBod Kombucha Gummies on Amazon. Richard, the teacher I told you about earlier, is still out there taking his photographs. The last time I heard from him, he said the new hair is continuing to come in strong, and he no longer thinks about his bald spots every morning. He is living the way he always wanted to again. That same road is open to you. It is never too late. Your body, even at 70 or 75 or 80, still remembers how to grow hair when you give it the right support. It has been waiting patiently for the signal. If this spoke to you, please subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss the next tradition I share. Leave a comment below and tell me how long you have been dealing with hair loss. I read every single comment. Run your hand over that smooth patch tonight. Then do it again in 2 weeks. That difference is the only proof you will need. Until next time.